The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Hospitals and healthcare workers are already feeling the brunt of a surge in COVID-19 cases. They are reminding the public to do their part in bringing down the cases. Here's the rest of the story.
A group of healthcare workers is expressing concern over the surge in COVID-19 cases. Health Professionals Alliance Against COVID-19 member Dr. Maricar Limpin said that medical frontliners have been holding the fort as much as they could. But Limpin warns this may not last long if the current trend in cases holds steady.
I think we are already feeling a little bit tired. I can sense that, but nobody is really saying it. But there is really a sense na parang pagod na talaga yung mga tao, no?
To address the surge in patients, the government is planning to direct public hospitals to increase their bed capacity for COVID-19 patients.
The plan is actually for what we call surge capacity. That means public hospitals that used to allocate 30% will increase all the way to 50% of their existing bed capacity dedicated to COVID.
Even private hospitals are alarmed by the surge, with some institutions saying they might reach full capacity soon. To date, 29 private hospitals in Metro Manila are now at critical capacity. Despite this, Private Hospitals Association of the Philippines President Dr. Jose Rene de Grano assures the public they are still not calling for a timeout. However, they are hoping that hospital admissions for COVID-19 cases will decrease in the following weeks as the Holy Week approaches.
Right now, wala pa namang pinapahiwatig yung ating mga healthcare workers na hindi na nila kaya. So far as we can manage, itutuloy pa namin ang pag-admit ng mga COVID cases. We are expecting na sana hindi tumuloy yung rising trend na yan at makapahinga tayo, especially dadating na nga itong Holy Week at makapagpahinga lahat.
Health workers are urging the public to stay at home this Holy Week to curb the spread of COVID-19. Earlier, UP Octa research team member Guido David said the best strategy to avoid catching the virus is to assume that everyone we meet is already a carrier.
This is a nightmare happening to us right now. Ang tingin ko ngayon, just to be on the safe side, I would treat everyone I encounter as potentially having the virus and act accordingly. I mean, I think that's the safest way.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Meanwhile, DILG Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya says a hard lockdown may soon be inevitable. In an interview with Ride Radio, Malaya said the government wants to avoid a full-blown lockdown because of its crippling effect on the economy. But the official admitted that a hard lockdown may be exactly what the Metro needs once hospitals could no longer accept patients due to overcapacity.
Everything is on the table right now. We are not discounting anything, no? Although mas maganda na yung ating capacity now, 1 year after the pandemic, as I said, we have more contact tracers, 255,000 nationwide. We have more testing centers. We can test a lot in a day all over the country. We have increased our ICUs and our ventilators. But at the end of the day, pag naswamp ang ating mga hospitals, our healthcare system, then we will have to go into a hard lockdown.
Malaya also said that the government has to scale up contact tracing efforts in light of the recent surge in cases. He adds that at present, there aren't enough contact tracers to take on the heavier load.
Ilan ang contact tracers natin dito sa Metro Manila? Ang tanong, kaya ba niyang lahat ma-meet yung 1:30? So, sa tingin namin, hindi nakakayanin yung 1:30. That may be in peacetime. We're in wartime. Okay? That's number one. Number two,
medyo mabagal, no?
Oo. Number two, pag nag-contact trace ka at positive din yung mga na-contact trace mo, bumabalik yan sa 1. Bumabalik uli yan sa 1. So, gumagawa siya ng sarili. So, it's an exponential increase. So, we realize that the ratio is not fair because it's not reasonable, nor is it nor is it possible given the circumstances.
Residents of Southville 3 in Muntinlupa are condemning the Correction Bureau's move to erect concrete walls on the road leading to the city proper. Tensions rose between residents of the government housing village and BuCor personnel as residents woke up on Saturday morning essentially locked in without access to the main road. Muntinlupa Representative Biazon immediately went to the scene to talk to BuCor personnel. Biazon maintains that the obstruction is illegal and that BuCor's top officials will answer to the issues he and the affected residents raised. The lawmaker advised residents to remain calm and assured them that the local government of Muntinlupa and BuCor will work on addressing the problem. Let's get the latest on this. We have with us on the line Muntinlupa Representative Biazon. Sir, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Risa, and to all our listeners, viewers. Good morning as well.
Congressman, has the concrete wall been torn down or is the construction still ongoing?
They've actually finished the wall that they erected. They have not brought it down in spite of our protest. I have to give it to them, no? Kasi I tried to get in touch with the director of the bureau, but he was unavailable yesterday. He did not respond to messages that I sent him. But I understand that the officers on the ground could not make a decision right then and there. So I gave them time to consult with their director and come up with a decision. But I will not wait long. Within this week, if they don't answer, then we will take the appropriate action.
Sir, since you've spoken to them, what is the rationale, according to them, behind the BuCor putting up this wall?
They are saying that it is, well, officially what they claimed was it was a health protocol measure. And when they wrote to the barangay, that was the reason they were citing. And they even said that they were going to put up temporary measures. But Saturday morning, when we saw that they were building a permanent wall on the road, that's where we protested. And it is my position that the wall that they erected on a public road is a violation of existing law. One example is the Civil Code, which says that any obstruction you put on a road is a nuisance. Mm-hmm. So we deem the order of the BuCor leadership as illegal. So we are giving them the opportunity to rectify this without us having to proceed with other options that we have. One is we can hold them to Congress for an inquiry and investigation. Another is we will elevate it to the Department of Justice, or the extreme case is that charges would be filed against them.
Mm-hmm. Sir, have you spoken to Muntinlupa Mayor Fresnedi, and is it true that the BuCor built this wall without consulting with the city government of Muntinlupa?
Yes, aside from violating the law, the BuCor did not follow the regular practice of government wherein consultation is done. They did not call for a consultation of the residents that would be affected. They did not consult with officials, whether local government or national government. Because the community that is cut off right now is a national government housing project. Mm-hmm. The road is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Public Works and Highways. And of course, the local government exercises authority as well. And the city government has written the BuCor with regard to this, and also citing provisions of the local government code that have been violated. Mm-hmm. So the steps and measures taken by the BuCor are, at first, they had bad faith when they implemented this measure. They did not even follow the letter that they sent to the barangay, which was sent one day before the construction of that wall. Mm-hmm. So there is evident bad faith on the part of BuCor.
Congressman, with this wall being put up, how many residents, you're mentioning the community, are affected or essentially trapped because, again, of this structure?
Well, we're talking about around 6,000 housing units there. So you multiply it at a very conservative estimate of 5 individuals per family. You can imagine, but that's more than 20,000 people. And not only is the access affected, it's the livelihood, the health, and the safety and security of those living in that area. So, and all of this were done because they did not consult with officials who had other concerns and points of view that should have been considered in coming up with that policy.
Well, we hope this would be resolved as soon as possible. Maraming salamat. That's Muntinlupa Representative Rufi Biazon. Now, as Holy Week draws near, the Catholic Church says it will not push through with Holy Week processions this year as coronavirus cases surge. JC Cosico with the details.
Because of COVID-19's prevalence, there will be no processions for this year's Holy Week according to the CBCP. Currently, 50% of total capacity are allowed inside churches, which in turn allow the conduct of liturgies, masses, and blessings. But processions are a different beast, as it presents a greater opportunity for the virus to infect more people.
We are going to do away with the processions because processions actually call for so many people's participation. That's why we are not going to do that, because we wanted also the people to be protected from this virus.
NTF Special Advisor Dr. Ted Herbosa is also urging everyone to stay at home during the Holy Week, calling it an opportunity for a quote, religious lockdown.
Traditionally, when I was young, Holy Week was a time when people stayed at home, prayed, and didn't go out. There were no activities for the whole duration of the Holy Week. If we can implement something like that, so that's culturally more acceptable than just a forced lockdown where people will be forced to just stay home and not go out.
The CBCP tells the Catholic faithful not to worry, since Holy Week Masses will be available for streaming online on their Facebook page. The public may also join the celebration of Masses by watching it on TV or listening to the radio.
For those who are not yet allowed to go out, and because only 50% are allowed to participate in our celebrations, so might as well be in the confines of your homes. Just be prayerful, even inside the homes, and be with your family. And then, of course, attend the celebration virtually.
Finally, if worst comes to worst, the CBCP says it is willing to temporarily close churches again if the IATF should direct them to.
If the IATF, for example, is going to tell us that people should not anymore go out and then that there should be lockdown, then we are going to do what we did last year. Meaning to say, churches are closed, but we are doing the celebrations inside the church with no participation, without the participation of the public.
For News 5, JC Cosico, we are One News.
The Diocese of Novaliches has suspended physical masses of its churches due to surge in COVID-19 infections. Starting tomorrow, parish churches are urged to go online streaming for holy masses and other religious activities. They are also urging parish offices to cut down workforce to 50% and restrict movement to their personnel to church premises only. Churches in Novaliches will resume physical religious activities by April 4, Easter Sunday, but will continue to strictly comply with health protocols and guidelines. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.